Welcome to the Tech Ranch, live and local here on Super Talk 1270. The latest gadgets, online security, websites and apps, social media, and so much more. How can technology help you? Let's find out. It's time for the Tech Ranch on Super Talk 1270.
From our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River, here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
Today is about saving money, website optimization, and a blast from the past.
Oh, yeah.
Who is trending again? As a matter of fact, at the control panel, Mr. Producer Extraordinaire, Jim Walsh.
Hi.
How's it going?
Not bad. Trying to stay awake, but
Yeah?
don't take that personally. I had a rough weekend.
Okay.
I had trouble sleeping last night. The cats kept waking me up.
You were just excited about today's show,
Well,
actually.
that too,
We have a very cool guest today, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we
And
do.
I think we'll tease people a little bit. He'll be coming on at 1:15, and he is a blast from the past.
If you heard last week's show, that may give you a little bit of a hint.
A little bit of a hint.
Little
That's right.
bit of a hint.
That's right. But you'll want to stay tuned for it because if you're from the 80s, you will, and especially if you're a gamer, you will certainly appreciate who we have coming on in a little bit here. So, yeah. So it'll be a lot of fun to talk to him, 11:15, so make sure you hang around for that. Have you ever wondered, Jim, how websites get to the top of the pack in Google?
I'd love to know. I'd love to know how I could do it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So do you have a website or something that you want to kind of escalate?
Well, we have
to
the
top?
website here at the station,
sure.
the podcast page
Sure.
at the station.
Absolutely, yeah. And you're right. I mean, everybody would love to be in that first couple rankings or whatever. It's called Search Engine Optimization, or SEO for short.
Okay.
And there are some tricks that you can do that will get you there. A lot of it is about blogging. I think content, I guess I consider content and blogging to be about the same nowadays, but you don't have to blog to have great content on your website, but you have to have content. You just can't throw a website up there and not have something for people to search for. And Google loves those grassroots type of things, which is why it likes blogs so much, because it's somebody who's writing about things, and that's why those things always go to the top. But there are other things too. So as I was thinking about this yesterday, and I thought I'd just wander through, because I like to highlight websites occasionally, as you know.
Yeah.
And come across this website called Salt Rank. Salt as in salt and pepper.
Okay.
Rank, RANK, saltrank.com. And they are actually, I was checking them out a little bit. They're experts in their field here when it comes to search engine optimization. So if you go to saltrank.com, they have some great tips about how to bring your website to the top of the pack. So if you're, you could be a blogger, you could be a business, like Jim was saying, the podcast here, things that we can do that maybe will get us so that you're not number 4,322,000 or whatever. Have you ever enjoyed that when you look something up on Google and it shows you how many search results come back and you're like, are you kidding me? And that's why nobody goes past the first page. Because, when you have 4 million results returned, who's got time for that? So of course, if you want to, escalate your business a little bit, whatever, it's important to have that search engine optimization. So, go check that out, saltrank.com. And they are my website pick of the week. They have a lot of great stuff on there about how you can optimize your website. Keywords research is a big deal, of course. Search engine submissions can be a big deal. But the biggest thing, and link popularity too, you want to do link building and that type of thing. Not to bore everybody with this, but it is important and everybody nowadays seems to have a website for some reason or another. I don't know. I mean, I talk to people, whether they're in business for themselves or if they're doing whatever.
Yeah.
Hobbies. There's a lot of people who have hobby websites. Now, a lot of people who have websites just for themselves.
Yeah.
That seems to be a growing trend as well. You'll register your name, jameswalsh.com.
Yes. There's actually already a jimwalsh.com.
There is.
He's a preacher in Texas.
Really?
Yeah, definitely not me.
Okay.
That ain't me.
You're on the opposite side of that.
No.
The horns are receding a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's important to optimize your site, and more and more websites are being created all the time, so you want to do that. So, Anything else in the news that you've been looking at lately here?
In the news?
Yeah.
Well, it's been interesting, the stuff that has been big on the internet the last week or so, like the story of the lion, Cecil the lion.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring that up with you too. The actual, I mean, it's a big deal to people, of course, but do you think it's really that big of a deal here? I mean, for all the fanfare that's getting, and is it because of social media that it's being pushed like it is?
Yeah. Oh, people are definitely interested. I mean, it's a great human interest story because it involves this lion, who is basically just sitting there minding his own business, and this guy came out. It's a real touchy issue with a lot of people.
It is. There are certainly much larger issues in this world. I mean, that's the thing that I think a person has to look at. But it is one of those issues that, it doesn't seem to go away.
No.
This has been trending for a week.
Well, you notice how the media has been kind of playing fast and loose with things. There was a story over the weekend about the other lion, what's his name, Jericho.
I didn't see that.
Who was supposedly killed. Supposedly, Jericho was Cecil's brother.
Okay.
And supposedly, he was killed by poachers, neither of which is true. Cecil did kind of pal around with this Jericho.
Okay.
But Jericho was not his brother, not his blood brother, and he is not dead. He was not killed.
Oh, okay.
In fact, he was seen gnawing on a giraffe carcass with a lioness over the weekend.
Okay.
Which I'm sure if you're a lion is a pretty hot date.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Just interesting, yeah. So, and you found out about this online as well. I mean, about Jericho being shot by poachers. I mean, that was a trending thing. See, and that's the thing with social media is that people get worked up with stuff, and then these other stories, whether they're made up or not, and generally are. I mean, they're not. There's a
well,
not
look at
a
the
lot
whole
of truth
Trump thing. I'm convinced that the whole Trump thing is built to a large extent on the talk he's generating, the buzz.
Absolutely, absolutely. So. It's fun to see how social media creates its own, I don't know what you want to call it actually, but if it trends on social media, then it seems like the regular media pick up on it and start running stories about it. So I wonder if they take the time to, I'm thinking they do. They look and see what's trending on there and what people have interest in and that type of thing. Yeah. So, very interesting. So, well, I think it's that time. We should probably go to our break and make our phone call.
Yes.
So we can have our special guest
Our surprise mystery guest person.
So, people, you want to stay tuned for this because you're going to love it.
It's driving me crazy.
Absolutely. See you in a bit.
Currently, it's 66.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
Follow the Guru of Geek at facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or thetechranch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
I got a pocket full of quarters and I'm headed to the arcade. I don't have a lot of money, but I'm bringing...
Yeah, we want to thank all our followers that, I guess, follow us. The people that follow us across the country and around the world on the Blueberry Network, on the Tech Podcast Network. If it's Tech, it's here. Of course, we're on iTunes, the Roku, on Tuned In, and our own app, Radio Pup. All kinds of great places that you can follow the Tech Ranch. And our special guest. Jim, you want to do the drum roll?
Dun, da, da.
Joining us, a blast from the past, from the 80s, Mr. Pac-Man Fever himself, Jerry Buckner. Jerry, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're fantastic as well. We were actually talking about the movie Pixels last week, and, of course, Pac-Man Fever had to come up, and that's why we thought we'd reach out to you to see if you were interested in joining us today. So can you tell us a little bit about how you and Gary, got started and what led up to Pac-Man Fever?
Well, Gary and I were living in Akron, Ohio. We went to school together and met in junior high and played in bands together through high school. And when we got out of high school, we decided to team up and go for it in the music business, and eventually ended up in Atlanta, Georgia, because there was some things going on down there, and we had some connections, and got into the jingle business eventually, and we're writing jingles and trying to write songs. Trying to write songs and on the side and in between our jingle business, and started getting some success with things, and then Pac-Man Fever came along in '81.
Okay. So in the jingle side, did you ever have any jingles that maybe we had heard of?
Nothing national. It was all regional stuff here in Atlanta, and we were very successful with it. I mean, people, if you lived here, I could name a few that you would know, but of course you wouldn't know them. But you know, it was an interesting business to be in, by the way.
Sure. I bet it was.
Yeah,
So
it's tough when you're trying to explain something to someone without hearing it, and of course, to do it requires paying to do it, and so we could have some interesting conversations.
I bet so. So were you and Gary gamers by chance?
No, not really. I mean, we played. Gary probably played more than I did, but we got caught up in the Pac-Man craze. I mean, that's how the song came about. Like everybody else, we were spending quarters, too many, and decided to write a song about the game, thinking, maybe if we do this and we get some local play on radio stations around here, maybe it'll help our jingle business. So that was the original idea behind the song.
Okay.
But we played some. I mean, I liked Asteroids a lot at that time. Pac-Man was frustrating for me because I don't know. I have a hard time with games if I can't really master them. I get frustrated. So Gary played a lot more. He was probably better than I was and played a lot more games. And of course, we bought, like everyone else, we started buying all the home game stuff and playing at home. But I don't really play much anymore.
Okay. So what was the inspiration behind Pac-Man Fever?
Okay, well, as I say, we were working on jingle projects at a studio in Marietta, Georgia, and there was a restaurant nearby, and we were in there eating dinner one night and saw this machine. We didn't know what it was. People were playing it, so we started playing it, and just quarter after quarter, and we were hooked. So that's when we decided, maybe we could do something that would get us some attention if we wrote a song about it, and that's why we did it.
Okay. And I didn't mean to reiterate that. I thought maybe there was a little bit more there. So you basically were standing in line with everybody else, dropping quarters in these machines, and decided that, hey, maybe there's a song here. So were you surprised how well the song did?
Absolutely, yeah. We really never dreamed it would have this kind of success that it had at the time, and never would have dreamed that it would continue on like it has. It's just been amazing, and I think one of the reasons for that is, number one, we tried to write, when we decided to do the song, we tried to write a good pop song. I mean, we didn't want to just throw something together with sound effects. So we were pop song writers, so we tried to come up with something that we thought, the melody and instrumentation would have been, okay on its own, and then add the elements of the sound effects and so forth. So I think that's one reason. And the second is, as you know, or I'm not sure, maybe you don't. I don't know how old you are, but that was a real social event back then. It wasn't just the games. People loved going to the arcades and hanging out with their buddies, and guys would meet girls, and girls would meet guys, and all kinds of fun occurred at these places. And I think that's what people miss today, and that's why there's such a big retro thing going on now, and arcades are opening up like the old days, and people want to go in with the quarters. They want to relive the fun times. So I think those two are the main reasons why it continues to be as popular as it is. But no, we had absolutely no idea that it would be as popular as it was.
Well, I am certainly of that age,
Me
Jerry.
too.
So I spent many hours in arcades mastering Pac-Man. Asteroids was probably my favorite too, but
Centipede was my favorite.
Really? Okay. But yeah, in fact, I'm still broke today because I spent so much money back in the '80s on Pac-Man and Asteroids.
Of course, yeah. They would eat the quarters.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. But you're right. It was a social thing. I mean, that was the thing to do when you wanted to go out back in the day, and it was a lot of fun. I'm with you. I miss those days. That electronic thing. Of course, we all grew up from there, and our games have grown up because of that too. But you're absolutely right when you say the retro thing is back on and a lot of fun. You had a comment, Jim?
No, I was going to say, I was already an adult when it came out, and I was working at a radio station in Jackson, Mississippi, not all that far from Atlanta, by the way, geographically. And when that song came out, it drove me nuts because I was playing it like every 45 minutes. And we got these 7-year-old kids who'd call up and ask for it, and that was even worse.
Sure.
But don't hold that against me.
It was a crazy time. The record, when they took it, our management people took it to all the labels in New York, and nobody had any interest in it. They didn't understand it. They didn't know what Pac-Man was or anything else. So it was like a complete, forget it. We don't want it. So our management company decided to press up records and put it out locally and see what happened. So a station here in Atlanta put the song on, and the phones exploded. And as you're explaining what happened to you, they absolutely exploded. And it was so bad that they were forced to play the song again the same hour. And as you know, in radio, you don't do that. I mean,
not anymore.
Pretty rare kind of, especially
Very
a top 40
rare,
station like this was. And they called our management people and said, "You guys have got to smash. I mean, we can't. The phones are lit up like Christmas tree." And that's what happened everywhere. It was the perfect storm for a record, I guess would be a good way to say it.
Well, I know, when I was in that time or in that era, I was playing Pac-Man a lot, and just the beginning of Pac-Man Fever with the sound of Pac-Man in there, it was like your brain changed, and you're like, oh, there's that song again. Your ear caught it or something,
Yeah.
So you had that kind of built in. Now you had kind of a relationship with Dick Clark too, correct?
Yeah, we did the American Bandstand show with Dick Clark. He was very nice to us and promoted our second record, promoted our album on his radio show through Kmart, and we did the show, and it was great. I mean, we grew up watching that show, so it was like surreal for us to meet him, and he came to our dressing room before the show and talked a little bit, and we were very nervous, but I know he was used to that sort of thing. I mean, you take a couple of guys, suddenly we're thrust into the limelight, and it's a lot to take to walk on the set of that show after growing up with it and be on the show. It was just, I remember doing the show, it was like a dream. I couldn't believe I was on ABC TV doing Dick Clark, so
Sure.
It was tremendous, but he was a very nice man.
So what other cool things happened to you because of the song that really stand out?
Oh, lots of things. I'd be hard to say all of them. I remember just a couple of years ago, our song was in the Rose Bowl parade with a float. That was pretty neat.
That was cool.
We were in the New York Times crossword puzzle as an answer. We were on Jeopardy.
I love it.
The list goes on and on of just really, really cool things that happened.
Now, you have a new version of the song as well, correct?
That's right, brand new, Pac-Man Fever Eat 'em Up 2015. And that website is pacmanfevereatemup.com, and you can go there, and our video that's just been out for a few days, we're already past 90,000 views and growing, and you can see the video, you can see Facebook and Twitter, we got everything cranking. So pacmanfevereatemup.com is the place, and you can purchase a song at iTunes, Amazon, and all those places.
Great. Is it okay if we play a quick sample of it?
I wish you would.
All right, we will do that right now. Here, everybody, here's Pac-Man Fever, Eat 'em Up.
I got a pocket full of quarters and I'm headed to the arcade. I don't have a lot of money, but I'm bringing everything I made. I got a canvas on my finger and my shoulders hurting too. I'm gonna eat 'em all up just as soon as they turn blue. 'Cause I got Pac-Man fever. It's driving me crazy. I got Pac-Man fever. I'm going out of my mind. I got Pac-Man fever. I'm going out of my mind.
So there it is, everybody. Pac-Man Fever, Eat 'em Up, and it kind of has a hip hop feel to it.
Yeah, a little bit of a hip hop thing going there.
Yeah, tell us about that a little bit.
Well, we decided when we wanted to recut it that we wanted to have some element of the original song in there. So we took Gary's original vocal, then built a whole new track around it. So it's got a little bit of a retro feel because of his voice. So people who remember the record, when they hear that, they can, I think, still key in on it and still like that version. Plus, it's got a new arrangement. So for the younger crowd that hadn't heard it, hopefully they'll like it with the new arrangement.
Sure. And have you been trending with this a little bit yet?
I haven't noticed about the trending, but
okay.
But the video is really picking up speed. I mean, we're starting to get several thousand already today, several thousand views. So we'd love for you to go check out the video, and you can get to it on YouTube, Pac-Man Fever Eat 'em Up, official video on there. and or go to our website, PacManFever.com, and see it.
Yeah, and we'll actually post links from that from the station here as well as from the TechRanch.com, so hopefully we can push a little traffic your way as well.
Oh, that would be great. I really would appreciate it.
So, Jerry, do you want to hang around past the break here? We have a couple more questions for you, if that's okay.
Okay, I got another interview coming up, but I can stay on a couple more minutes.
Okay, very good. Well, Jim, do you want to should we just hang on and ask Jerry a couple more questions?
Yeah, let's go ahead. We can make the time.
Okay, sounds good. So did you ever meet the inventor of Pac-Man?
I did. For the first time in May, we went invited to come up to Namco, had a big 35th anniversary birthday celebration for Pac-Man, and we were invited to be there and do a little performance. And the fellow that invented it was there, Iwatana, professor. He's now a professor over in Japan, and we got to meet him, and it was great. After all these years, we finally got to meet. And he doesn't speak a lot of English, but at one point when we were talking and so forth, he leaned over to my ear and softly started singing, "Pac-Man Fever." I got Pac-Man Fever. And I thought that was just so cool. So that was a really neat thing.
That's a great story.
Really great. And he ended up coming into where we performed in the main showroom there they had, and he came in and actually started dancing to the song on the dance floor. So it was a great night, great party, great celebration.
Jim, any more questions for Jerry at all?
I think we're good. This has been great.
Yeah, it's been great.
The memories are just flying back.
I know. For me, too, as well. Jerry, we really appreciate you being on the show. And everybody, you can go to BucknerGarcia.com. Check it out. We're going to have links to all of your stuff, Jerry, on the TechRanch.com and on Super Talk. So thanks a lot, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on the show, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm going out of my mind.
Currently, it's 66.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
So that was kind of a cool thing we just had going on there.
Very cool thing we did.
Jerry Buckner of Buckner and Garcia.
Yeah, I did want to say this when we were on, but when that song was out, I was a DJ.
Yes.
I was playing that thing like every half hour and hating it with a purple passion. God, not that song again.
But you were getting inundated with calls, right?
Yes, we were.
Yeah. So that was why. And I'm thinking
all
back
6-year-old kids, but still.
But that was the only way back in those days to request music.
That's right.
I mean, we didn't have, you could
hop
online.
On the radio station, we had 2 lines coming in, and the lines just kept lighting up.
And I would be willing to bet that with Pac-Man Fever, the record wasn't even available, so people couldn't even go down and buy it right away because of the phenomena that happened with that song. So they released it, and then a couple radio stations picked it up and started playing it. And, of course, it was an instant hit there. And that's why I think people were requesting this so much, because you couldn't even go buy the song right away.
Yeah, well, we played the bejabbers out of it, I'll tell you that.
I forgot to ask him. Do you remember how high it got on the charts?
I can Google it and find out.
Okay.
I'll check the Joel Whitburn website.
I don't think it was the number one song.
Chronicles the... I don't think so.
But
Joel Whitburn is the guy who chronicles Billboard Magazine, which is the definitive publication.
Okay.
I'll do it right now.
Okay, yeah, you do that. And in the meantime... while Jim is Googling that to see how high it got up in the charts, I run across another kind of cool app the other day called Minfo, M-I-N-F-O, and I'll ask Jim a couple questions about this shortly, but how it works is if you're driving down the road and you hear a commercial, and I've had this happen to me all the time, and there's something about that commercial that you want to remember, whether it's the name of the business, the phone number that you want to call in because you want to get the service or the product or whatever it is. And when you get back to your home or your office, you're like, what in the world was it that I was going to do with that commercial? Was I going to call them or whatever? Well, Minfo, as soon as you activate that app, it'll actually start recording what you're hearing. And it'll actually make notes of it so that a person can reference it a little bit later, look in the history or whatever. So it's just, you open the app up, you can have it ready to go if you like, and if you hear something that you want to recall later, it'll have that available to you. And it actually is intuitive, so if you start playing or if you activate the app and it hears something that you know or that it knows about, let's say it's a commercial for a particular company or whatever, and there are deals that are available, maybe there's coupons available, whatever, it'll actually bring those up. So Minfo, you need to do that. All right, Jim, what'd you find out for?
We found out that it peaked at number 9 in Billboard, which is considered the definitive source
right.
for the record charts. Peaked at number 9 in March of 1982.
Okay. Now, when you were a DJ at that time, of course, it didn't go strictly by volume of calls and how often you played it. It actually went by sales as well, too, right?
Yeah, well, the sales was the big thing.
Okay.
But there were other factors involved that had to do with the amount of airplay it was getting based on the request and so on and so forth.
So I'm going to guess, I mean, when you think about it at that time, did that song, I mean, was there anything else being requested as heavily?
The other song from that period, I'm trying to think back. That was the period when New Wave was starting to really take hold.
Okay.
You had groups like the Police,
right?
The Go-Go's were just hitting their stride. You had Duran Duran came about a year later, so they were not on the charts yet. So I'm trying to think back. Joan Jett, I Love Rock and Roll. That was a number 1 record when I was in Jackson, Mississippi. That was another one that came out about that time.
Yep.
And there was a song called I've Never Been to Me, a really horrible ballad. Those 2 songs got all the phone requests in the late winter, early spring of 1982, and I hated both of them with a passion. God,
Hopefully Jerry's not listening to you right
now.
Well,
no. I don't hold it against Jerry. I mean, he did a great job. I mean, he came up with, he grabbed the lightning. He got the lightning in the bottle.
Yep.
It is so hard to do that. I mean, we all fantasize we can write a hit. We all think we can.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
It's and a lot of it is about timing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of it is timing.
You bet. So yeah, it was certainly fun talking to him. So have you ever, getting back to this app now, Jim, Minfo, Minfo.
Minfo.
Have you ever been driving down the road and you hear something and you're like, and you get back to your office or at the station here or whatever, and you're like, what was that commercial? What was that phone number?
Yeah.
I wanted to buy that vacuum cleaner, but I don't remember the name of the company. Whatever, right? Well, Minfo actually does that. It actually remembers it for you. And then if you see printed ads, if you see QR codes, whatever, you can scan those too with this thing. And it shows the deals and stuff. I was playing around with this last night. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the station, and when commercials came up, it would actually listen to them, and it would actually give me deals about what's going on with that particular company. So if it's a national chain, for example, and there's a coffee deal going on, it would actually show that on the screen just by listening to the advertisement on the radio. I thought that was pretty clever.
Yeah, very clever.
So, go check it out, everybody. Minfo, Minfo.com. Brand new, by the way. It's a company out of Australia that brought this out. So, but go check it out or get the app on your Android.
Yeah, I want to buy that widget thing. I heard,
and it's free. It's a free app too. So I thought that was pretty cool. Wow. I was just thinking about how many quarters I dropped in Pac-Man.
Well, I was already an adult, but even I got into it for a while.
Miss Pac-Man was a popular thing too.
That was popular with Pac-Man was very popular with women. And that inspired Ms. Pac-Man.
Right. That's exactly right.
And I always wondered what the appeal was. I think it was the cute factor. Women liked it because it was cute.
Yes, absolutely.
I also theorized that they secretly envied anything that could eat that much without gaining weight.
That's pretty good, Jim. So Centipede was your game.
Centipede was my game. I don't know why. That and there were a few others I dabbled with, but Centipede was a big one. I had a buddy at the radio station where I worked who his thing was Donkey Kong Jr.
Sure. I remember
there was
that
this
game.
one. There was this one convenience store. It was kind of like a loaf and jug type place, or a 7-Eleven in other parts of the country.
Yep.
And we used to go into this one place, and they had this machine that had Donkey Kong Jr. or JR, as he liked to call it, and he would just stand there for like a half hour at a time playing Donkey Kong.
Unreal. I'm sure we're
not
bringing
Donkey
a lot of memories
Kong,
up
Donkey Kong Jr. It had to be Junior. I don't know why.
So what was that? What was the boxing game? I'm trying to remember.
The boxing game.
I played that game like crazy.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to come out with a Ronda Rousey game now.
Don't remember that at all.
No, I say she's the current hot thing.
Oh, okay,
kickboxing.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, there was like
she won that fight over the weekend, like
gotcha.
TK, not a TKO, an actual knockout in like 33 seconds.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sure she'll have a game shortly.
Yeah, it would make for a very interesting game, though, if it's over in 30 seconds.
That's true. That's true.
Basically, she comes out, boom, we're done.
But yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of that game. I had like Glass Jaw Joe, I think is who you started with, and you kind of worked your way up.
There was a virtual reality boxing game where you put the thing on your head and you actually saw and heard the boxer, swinging at you.
Yep. And then Battleship, or not Battleship, but what was the tank game that we used to play?
The tank game. Oh, God, there's so many of those.
You look through the periscope and you rumbled around with the tank. So yep.
Morning, Super Talk 1270. Hello.
Hello. Hey, this is Steve Lippert from Mad Deals.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing real well today. Is this Marlo?
This is Marlo. So you are actually live on the air right now. So we'll actually start with you before the break.
Don't say anything too dirty, okay? Don't say anything too dirty.
We were just talking about the past arcade games and
Pac-Man Fever, baby.
That's right. Yeah, we had Jerry Buckner on from Buckner and Garcia. So
and Missile Command,
We've been living our past lives, so to speak.
Remember Missile Command?
I do.
The nuclear war video. It was a video game about nuclear war.
Absolutely.
And you were trying to, fire these anti-missile things to stop your city from getting blown up, the smithereens.
So, were you around in the 80s, Steve?
Oh yeah. I'm an old guy. I was born in '63.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. So, what was your favorite game in the 80s when you went to the arcade?
The favorite game would be probably Pac-Man or Asteroids.
Pac-Man.
Wow. So were you one of those two that were dropping a lot of quarters at the time?
Yeah. That was the second mortgage for the family.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been reliving our past here because of and I agree. I mean, I
go to the bank, get that roll of quarters.
Oh my goodness!
Off you go. Yeah.
I would do anything to get quarters. Well, not anything, but I'd figure out ways to get to the arcade.
Like I say, don't get too dirty.
Yeah. The crane game too. Did you ever play the crane game?
Oh well, that game.
I did.
That was where you turn the crank and you try to pick up the prize. Well, they're rigged. They've got to be rigged.
I did really well with those.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah, I won all the time. How about you, Steve? How'd you do?
I guess some
those?
people have the touch.
Yeah. I would have to say I was a loser.
That was the only game, actually, that I won't say the only game I did well, but I felt like I actually got my money back by playing the crane games because I would put a quarter in and get a prize, So I thought that was pretty
little
cool.
teddy bear things,
whatever,
and stuffed doggies or whatever.
Yeah, people would try to give me money all the time so I could play it for them. So anyway, Jim,
you have something to lean on if the show tends to fail a little bit. You can go into the crane business.
That's exactly right. Yeah. I like that thinking. So, all right, Steve, we appreciate you. Hang on, because we're going to go through the break, and then we'll get to why you called in, all right? All right, so hang on, Steve, and everybody, we'll be back with Steve and Mad Deals, so come on back.
Currently, it's 72.
Sean Hannity, weekdays at 2, only on Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And if you like to save money on pizza, home improvement, travel, food trucks, I have your new best friend on the phone. Steve, appreciate you joining us today.
Yes.
So,
thanks so much, Marlo, for your time.
You are with Mad Deals, and I'm kind of going to just let you take over and tell us a little bit about Mad Deals. And if Jim and I have questions for you, we're just going to butt right in. How's that sound?
Oh, sure. Sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah,
so tell us about what Mad Deals is and how the whole concept works.
Mad Deals works on both geofence technology, which we use GPS to pinpoint a location, and then we create a radius. In that radius, our app users, Mad Deals app users in both Apple and Android, would be pushed a notification in that field if they had that category selected. So in our app, we have categories, and we are adding categories every day now. We added insurance, rentals, and sports this week. So we are starting to build clients, and things are going well. We're in our first month of release, and we have a very good response from our merchants. It's been pretty impressive.
So Steve, I have a computer repair business in my local area. So how do I, first of all, how do I join up with Mad Deals? And then how does the general public get notified on, when I have a special deal?
Right. Okay. So as a merchant, you go to gomaddeals.com and sign up for our subscription. It's a subscription-based product, and you'll find that our subscriptions are priced right. We start our first subscription, which is a half-mile radius or a 1 mile diameter, for $19.95 a month. And that's the flat rate. We ask for nothing on the back end. As a merchant, you would then be pushing any kind of information that you have available on the net. So you can push your website. You could push a deal. You could push your Facebook page. We have a banner space where you could team up with another company nearby and use their advertising money to purchase, for them to be able to advertise on your space as well. So there's a lot of flexibility here. As an app user, the app user would receive a notification if the app was closed in their phone that let you know that I was near your computer repair service. If I chose to open that up, I would open it up and I would see the deal or information that you were pushing.
So the GPS part of your phone, combines with your app, and that's what notifies people. So if I'm just kind of talking out loud here, but I guess that's what I do on the radio, right? But if let's say I'm driving someplace and it's around lunchtime and I'm traveling, and your app would actually, if I'm going by an area or by a town, and you have business subscribers that are on there, it would actually tell me what pizza joints in the area have specials right now, correct?
Exactly. And the beauty of that is the merchant can place as many of those a month as they want. So if it's a slow down Wednesday and it normally is not, push a deal out there. Give 2 slices of pizza for the price of 1, or a free Coke for a slice of pizza. Get bodies into the store. And those are bodies, those are people within proximity to your business.
So is this something that's available nationally right now, or are you in just select markets?
So we really are concentrating on just 3 markets right now with our media, but it is available internationally. We actually had a client jump on yesterday from Brazil.
Okay.
And so it's an international product. Now, the geofencing is one application. Geofencing, we allow the merchant to move that geofence wherever they choose to. So my restaurant is on 3rd and Central Avenue. I have a big baseball event that's at the stadium downtown. I can move that cursor over to that stadium and place an advertisement. You know there's bodies there. So you're going to be able to get that advertisement out to masses. Now, the other product that we have is a beacon, and that's really what we started this technology with 4 years ago. The beacon allows this same application to be used in a mobile application. So pizza delivery guy, home improvement, plumber, any vehicle, a bus, train, airplane, any vehicle that wants to push out advertisement or information can use that beacon mobily.
So they would have like a tablet in the, attached to the back seat or something like that, so that people could see these ads, or how does that work?
Yeah, no. So there would just be a small beacon, and it's about the size of a Carmex box, that would be applied someplace inside the vehicle or even just put into the glove box. As that vehicle moves, that field moves with the vehicle. So anybody in proximity of that, say, taxi cab would receive the advertisement from the taxi cab. So this allows that taxi to offset costs, pushing an advertisement like you see the signs on the side of taxis.
Sure.
This is a mobile digital sign.
Okay. I think Jim has a question for you. Oh, okay. You moved back to the mic, Jim. That's why I thought maybe you did. So, okay. Okay, so how do people get the app that you have right now?
Well, there's 2 ways. You can go right to either one of the Apple or Android stores and look up Mad Deals, and you'll find it's right there in front of you. Download that app, and it's ready to go.
Okay.
Right now, we're building a user base for merchants. So as we build that field, we're going to be able to push notifications in those areas.
And, of course, if you're a business in those key markets or around the world, like you said, if you want to hop on and start utilizing Mad Deals, you can do that. So how'd you come up with this idea?
Well, we started with Beacon Technology, like I said earlier, 4 years ago. We started with a business called Site Compass. We used beacons in environments to push text files to smartphones that were then read to the individual by voiceover. And we were working with the blind and lack of hearing individuals. It's also paired with a Bluetooth rail machine. So we took that technology and we built another business out of it called Rural Beacon, which was larger ecosystems, universities, transit systems, airports. These were beacons communicating in those environments and communicating to machine. I then took that technology and we leased the geofencing technology from another business. So we have both the geofence and the beacon technology. And like I said earlier, the beacon's using a mobile application. The geofence is more of a stagnant application of a radius, yet that can be moved.
Okay. And Jim, you had a question?
Well, I was going to say, just to avoid any confusion about this, I was entering the web address as I recalled it from Marlowe, and I noticed there's a couple of different sites. Now, yours is Mad Deals plural, right? Go Mad Deals, and there's an S at the end of Mad Deal, right?
Correct.
Because if you enter Mad Deal, you get something else entirely.
Okay.
There is a website there, but it's not yours, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it's Go Mad Deals, and Mad Deals, you got to make it plural. You got to put the S at the end of it,
right?
And then .com,
right? Okay. And of course, I'll have a link from the Tech Ranch as well, right to your site there, Steve.
Yeah, so I just wanted to clarify that because I was a little mixed up on.
Okay. I'm glad that you clarified that, Jim. So, all right, and so let's talk real quick again about how the app works and how people can get it as we're running against the clock here, Steve. So.
Okay. Great, yeah. So, again, you can pick it up at either one of the stores or at our website at gomaddeals.com. Or you can pick it up through our Facebook page, which is Mad Deals. The app is very easy. You download it. You select your categories of interest. If you want no deals pushed to you, you don't select a category. If you want just one deal selected, you select that. Food and drink, and you're only going to get that information pushed in proximity.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So, all right, everybody, go to gomaddeals.com or just look for Mad Deals on your Android or iPhone device and grab the free app, and you will be able to start saving some money. I told you Steve was going to be your new best friend. So, all right, Steve, we really appreciate you being on the Tech Ranch.
Hey, thanks, guys, for your time so much.
All right, take care. And Mr. Jim?
Yeah.
Here we are. I'm still buzzing about having Jerry on the show, too.
Yeah, we had the Pac-Man Fever guy on, and we will have it on the podcast page at supertalk1270.com within the next 24 hours.
Okay, and I'll put a link to that as well from the Tech Ranch as well, so if people want to listen as well, they can do that. So,
well, next week you're not going to be here, right?
I'm going to be in Vegas next week.
Right.
So we'll be doing the show live from Las Vegas. We'll have some great things there
you
as
will
well.
be on the show.
We'll be on the show. Okay. We'll be doing live. And then, of course, the following week, we go to 2 hours.
All right.
Unbelievable.
So what time will the show start?
It starts the same time, and I think we'll just go an hour later.
That's great.
And so, should be a lot of fun.
So next week will be the last 1 hour show.
Last 1 hour show.
From Vegas, baby.
That's a great way to end the show. Our last 1 hour show, isn't it? It's from Vegas. So, all right, everybody, have a great week.